Good day, learners. Welcome to home management class. My name is Saratu Ishaya, and today's topic is family life education. Family life education. The subtopic is marriage. Subtopic is marriage. Now, our outline for today, we have preparation for marriage, engagement, purpose of engagement, planning a family, types of marriage in Nigeria. We have a summary and assignment. Now, preparation for marriage. After courtship, the young persons who have decided that they want to live together as husband and wife introduce themselves formally to each other's family. The procedure for such an introduction in Yoruba is called Ifaha. Hausas call it Gaiswa. The Hausas call it Gaiswa, while the Igbos call it wine carrying. Now, engagement. It is generally marked with the announcement by the man that he wishes to marry a woman. The period is designed to test and prove the suitability of the match before the actual marriage. Now, I'll pause at this point to explain something. You know, in our previous lessons, when we are trying to talk about the things we need to consider in every relationship, one of them we said is what? Suitability. And then how do you get to understand who this person is? You have to be your real self. No pretext. If you're angry about any issue, make it known. If you're not happy, your likes, your dislikes, what you know don't like, what you don't understand, you need to actually talk about it at this point. That is what it means to test and prove the suitability of the match before the actual marriage. It means if you're not suitable for each other, it is better to have a broken engagement than a broken marriage. Purpose of engagement. 1. It places the partners as a pair in their own eyes and the eyes of both families. It places the pair or the partners as a pair. It makes everybody understand that these people, the moment they see you together, it means people know that there's a relationship between two of you heading towards marriage. The second thing is, it gives partners an opportunity to plan specifically for the marriage. It gives the partners an opportunity to plan specifically before the marriage. Now, they can plan on how money will be earned and spent, where they will live, the number of children they will have, etc. It is very important at the point of engagement that you discuss such matters. How will our monies be earned? Because as a family, when we become a husband and a wife, we need to understand how our monies will be earned. 2, we need to talk about the number of children we are supposed to have. 3, we need to talk about how these monies will be spent. They learn to communicate better than they ever had. They not only communicate love, but moods, thoughts and negative emotions. Now, just like I said, at this point, show your dislikes. When you are angry, let him understand or let her understand that you truly are not happy about a particular situation. Because you find that at the end of the day, when you pretend and the actual marriage now takes place and you start showing your true color, that is why we start having issues. So many cases of divorce, killings of each other or something like that. Start having so many rifts in the family. Love is no longer there. But at this point, when you show each other your likes and your dislikes, your emotions, your moods, then we tend to like that person for who he is and learn to live with that person. So many of us have mood swings. 1 minute you are happy, the next minute you are sad. But when you understand each other, then you learn to live with that kind of character, and then you have a peaceful marriage. Number 4. During this period, love is likely to deepen and broaden, which leads to a feeling of confidence in each other. Now, because you love each other and because you are now engaged to one another, you're moving towards getting married, then you get to understand each other the more. The love deepens, you understand each other, you have confidence in one another. You can confide in each other. Now, the next topic is planning a family. Now, during the period of engagement, the partners have to make some basic plans and take important decisions. Now, these plans include 1, home base. If they intend to rent or buy a house, it should be within the financial reach of the couple. I'll take that again. If they intend to rent or buy a house, it should be within the financial reach of the couple. Do not spend above your income. One of the topics we treated in home management was money management. And we said your income and your expenditure should balance. Do not spend outside your income. At the end of the day, you run into debts. Now, they should secure a house that meets their immediate and future needs. There's no point as a new couple, you are renting maybe a duplex with maybe 6 bedrooms. What are you doing with that kind of a house? The most important thing is to get a house that will meet your immediate need. A small apartment for a small family as you're just beginning. Now, as the family increases, then you can now move to a bigger apartment. The second one is financial plans. Money management is a crucial issue in many families, especially at the establishment stage. Now, at this point, I will explain something. When we say establishment stage, we have 3 stages in our home management process. Now, the first one is the establishment. We have the part where it increases, that is the enlargement side, and then the declining, where maybe all the family members have gotten married, some have gone to school, and the rest is now left with the couple in the house. So at the beginning, you are just 2, then it expands, and then it now comes back to 2 of you. Now, at the establishment stage of the family life cycle, they should at the onset plan various ways of obtaining and spending their money. How do you obtain your money? Through legal means, of course. Is it that she is actually maybe employed in a particular place, or you are also employed, or you have your own personal businesses? But all these things should come in place. They should plan to work as a team by pooling their resources together. What does it mean to pool your resources together? Bringing whatever you earn and what she earns, or what she earns and what he earns together. Pooling it together as a family, and then that is how you plan together. Number 3, family planning. Family planning. Now, wise couples often decide on the number of children they intend to have at the onset of marriage and start planning accordingly. Now, at the onset of marriage, it is very proper that you talk about the number of children you intend to have. Now, why? Each child should be provided adequately for in terms of feeding, clothing, education, healthcare, etc. Now, one of our topics, that is child development, we talked about some of the things that can hinder or can affect child development of a child. We talked about care in the family. Now, if you have the right number of children that you can take care of, it means their feeding, their education, healthcare, their clothing, shelter will be properly taken care of. It is very important to please understand that it is not that you just give birth to so many children and at the end of the day, these children are left at the mercies of others to take care of. At the end of the engagement period, the actual marriage ceremony takes place. Now, depending on the form of marriage, it may be necessary to print invitation cards, pay a dowry, make traditional and or church wedding outfit, plan, provide and organize entertainment, etc. Now we'll go to the types of marriages in Nigeria. Marriage is very important in every society. A stable marriage produces stable families, which in turn produce a stable society. The home is the foundation of every society. Now, if the home is filled with rage, no love, a lot of quarrels, no care, nothing, such children go into the society and that is how they look at life. But when you come from a family that has a lot of love, care, understanding, as you move out to the society, you give out what you have. You cannot give what you don't have. Now, the family is a very important institution which passes on the culture to children. In Nigeria, there are different forms of marriage recognized as valid. Each form of marriage has its own acceptable procedures. Number 1, customary marriage. Customary marriage. This type of marriage varies from one part to another. Now, customary marriage, simply we got the customary from the root word custom. So it means we all have our customs and traditions. So it varies from one part to another. Each ethnic group has specific customs and procedure. That is, now it is valid even if not registered according to the ethnic group. Number 2, Islamic marriage. Islamic marriage is contracted by an imam in the ways stipulated by Islam. I take that again. Islamic marriage is contracted by an imam in the ways stipulated by Islam. Now, Muslim men are each allowed to marry up to 4 wives. At this point, I will explain. It is stipulated, it is there in the Quran. They are allowed, it is not a personal thing. For a Muslim man, he can marry 1, 2, 3, or up to 4 wives. Now, this form of marriage is called polygamy. This type of marriage is called polygamy. Number 3, church marriage. It is officiated by a qualified church minister in a church. I take that again. It is officiated by a qualified church minister in a church. It is a monogamous form of marriage. It is a monogamous form of marriage. Like I said when I was treating that of Islamic marriage, that of the church marriage is also stipulated in the Bible, one man, one wife. Generally, couples often make marriage vows before relatives and congregation, exchange wedding rings, and sign marriage certificates, which are recognized by the court of law. The procedure of the wedding ceremony varies from one denomination to another. It varies, different denomination. How it's done or contracted in the Catholic Church may be different from that of Equa Church, also different from that of Baptist. Every church has, every denomination rather, has its own type on how they take on their procedure. Number 4, marriage under marriage ordinance. This is patterned after the British marriage laws. It does not allow a man to take a second wife unless he is divorced or his first wife has died. Now, like I said, when I was explaining it, it is patterned after the British marriage law. You are not, as a man, you cannot marry a second wife until after the death of your wife or after the divorce, which must be done properly even in the courts. It is therefore a monogamous form of marriage. It can be contracted in a court or before a court registrar. A marriage ordinance certificate is often issued to the couple. Normally, notice of the marriage is published for 21 days by the court registrar. A license is then issued to the intending couple, who thereafter present themselves before the registrar, who contracts the marriage within a short time. Now, when a notice is being placed outside for 21 days, it means they are waiting for anything from outside. Maybe a second wife will come out to say, I am his wife, or somebody might come and challenge why they are about to be joined as husband and wife. If nothing is done after that 21 days, then a license will be issued, and then they will now be joined as husband and wife. Now, let's take a summary of what we have done today. The first we talked about was preparation for marriage. What do we need to do even as we prepare for marriage? We need to understand one another. We need to learn to tolerate each other. We need to move as a couple in the eyes of those around us, because we have made that intention known to both families. Then we talked about engagement. We said Yorubas call it Ifaha, Hausas call it Gaiswa, while the Igbos call it wine carrying. We also talked about the purpose of engagement. We said, 1, the learn to communicate with one another. It gives partners an opportunity to plan. And then love is likely to deepen. And then finally, it places partners as a pair. We now talked about planning a family. We talked about the home base, what we need to do in the home, what we need to prepare even as we intend to form our own family. We talked about the financial plans, what it means to have that financial plans, trying to pool our resources together even as we form our family. And then the family planning, where we talk about planning the number of children we intend to have even before marriage. Then we talked about the types of marriage, the customary, Islamic, church, then ordinance or court marriage. Now, before I go, I'll leave you with an assignment. Number 1, list and explain the purpose of engagement. List and explain the purpose of engagement. Number 2, list and explain the basic plans in planning a family. Number 2 again, list and explain the basic plans in planning a family. I'll take it again. Number 1, list and explain the purpose of engagement. List and explain the purpose of engagement. Number 2, list and explain the basic plans in planning a family. Number 2 again, list and explain the basic plans in planning a family. Our reference text, Home Management for Schools and Colleges by Elizabeth Anyakoha and Margaret Elua. Again, Home Management for Schools and Colleges by Elizabeth Anyakoha and Margaret Elua. I remain yours, Saratu Ishaya. You can get me on this number via SMS or WhatsApp, 080-6573-1058. Again, 6573-1058. Stay home, stay safe, keep learning.